A very good evening to family, friends, faculty, and distinguished guests, and a warm welcome as we celebrate the 53rd commencement for Fridley High School and the graduating class of 2011. I'm Renee Van Gorp, and proud to be the principal at Fridley High School and to welcome you to Fridley High School's 2011-1 commencement program. I would like to begin this evening by introducing the people you see on stage behind me. From your left to right, we have our school board members. Gordon Backlund, Brad Richter, Chair Marsha Lindblad, Chris Riddle, Kim Sampson, and Fred Bischke. Next, we have our superintendent of the Fridley Public Schools, Dr. Peggy Flaffman. Assistant Principal, Kelly McConville. Activity Director, Dan Roth. And Rob Smith, Principal of Fridley's Alternative Program. I now have the pleasure of introducing Nancy Motti as our first student speaker this evening, as I quote from Nancy's message in the yearbook, "It's not about where you start, it's about where you finish." So with that, Nancy, let's get started.
Is there water?
No, I'm sorry to say.
Oh, it's okay.
Good luck.
Okay. Good evening, fellow graduates, loved ones, teachers, administrative staff, to the Fridley High School 2011 commencement ceremony. A couple weeks ago, I came across a quote that I'd like to share with you tonight. It is, "So that's what I wish for all of you, the bad as well as the good. Fall down, make a mess, break something occasionally, and remember that the story is never over." These are words each one of us shining graduates should take with us wherever we go. During our K through 12 years, we didn't always see the difference between being the best there is and being the best you can be. You are the best you can be when you firmly plant your foot in the soil that is rich with endless possibilities life has to offer each and every one of us beyond these gymnasium doors. It's about broadening our horizons and taking pride in all that we've accomplished in these past years. Becoming the best within ourselves is knowing that it's not about playing it safe and drawing inside the lines. It's about taking that crayon of initiative and mixing it with the crayon of perseverance and coloring a masterpiece of success outside those lines. I hope we can all look back at the silly mistakes that we've made, even that time that you've accidentally walked into the wrong classroom. Yes, we've all been there. And remember this, you're not alone. We all fall sometimes, and that's okay. But don't stay down. We get back up and learn from those bumps and bruises. Don't ever regret those falls, because that's what has made us the astounding human beings that we are today. The presence of a mistake is more beneficial than the absence of it. How we handle and resolve mistakes is what enables us to develop and grow. It is how we utilize that sets us apart from others. Our mistakes unleash us from our custom schedules and routines. Without it, it is like running in place. No matter how much effort we put into it, we will not go anywhere. We will remain in a standstill without any progression. The mistakes we make release us from our mechanical practice and sets us free to run and discover a realm of open possibilities. As children, we learn by making puzzles. Similar to the way a child uses trial and error to arrange the puzzle pieces, we too use trial and error to figure out the meaning in our lives. At this age, Mom and Dad have less of a direct influence on us, and we must instead make choices of our own. Just like puzzle pieces, each one of us has distinct inherent qualities that make us who we are. Dabbling in various areas with the intent to find our passion is essential in the high school experience. The truth is, we are all but puzzle pieces in the school, community, and even the world. Every piece is important and contributes to the beauty of the puzzle, but no one piece is more important than the other. It's all the above that has put us in these very seats tonight, graduating, and we should all be nothing less than proud. The fireworks begin tonight. Each diploma is a lighted match, and each one of us is the fuse. With that, I hope all of our dreams take us to the corners of our smiles, to the highest of our hopes, to the window of opportunities, and to the most special places our hearts have ever known. We may have gotten out alive, but life starts today. Thank you.
you. Well said, Nancy. At this time, I would like to invite Julian Green up to the podium to deliver the student commencement address.
What's going on, Fridley class of 2011? You see, normally these speeches will bombard you with advice on how you should go after your dreams and such, but that's not what it's supposed to be about. In fact, it's supposed to create a closure to our time spent here at Fridley. By the words of Jim Rohn, he says, if you don't like how things are, change it. You are not a tree. You know what? He's right. We are not the tree. We are the apple that has been able to grow and ripen. Our colors have changed, and we have found who we are and who we want to become. As each apple falls off the tree, they roll in a variety of directions. We don't know where we'll end up, but we must take risks to figure out what we want out of life. The tree is our base, our foundation, what we can call home. This is Fridley. This is a place that we can go back to and know we'll be welcomed with open arms. For the past 6 years, the International Baccalaureate program has taken an effect on us. As the experimental grade of the International Baccalaureate program, we have heard over and over and over again that we must fit the IB learner profile, when in all reality, the IB learner profile has come to fit us. We have each individually learned that success will come when you apply effort. And now as we graduate from high school, everyone will tell us it's time to start your journey in life. Yet, they have not realized that our journey has already begun. It started that first breath we took on earth. From then on, we are destined for greatness. Anna Quindlen once said, "It is so easy to waste our lives, our days, our hours, our minutes. It is just so easy to exist instead of live." I believe our true aspiration will be found outside of our comfort zone. But let's not wait until it's too late. Let's take the step now. Let's be something more than what is expected of us. Let us be remembered for the great things we have done and the lives we have changed for the better. Remember that what lies behind us has passed and gone. What lies in front of us is still yet unknown. But nothing can be greater than what lies within us. Some of us got the benefit to meet each other when we attended Hayes or Stevenson Elementary School. Like some, I was less fortunate and unable to take part in that bonding. I entered a school where I felt welcome my first step in. You see, back at my old school, it was estimated to be about 2,500 students, where I felt I went unnoticed. Though here at Fridley, it was different. It was small enough to the extent where I was able to get to know everyone, including the teachers. I remember when our first day of high school rolled around. We entered the school with a look of fear in our eyes, not sure what to expect. Little did we know that this is the place where we would find who we are. For many, this is where we began our own paths, by joining sports and clubs. These things can help us define who we are today. You know, we don't realize how difficult it is to be a teacher, yet it is even harder to take on the role of a principal and vice principal position. Ours, I believe, have done a great job preparing us for what is to come. At this point, I would like to recognize Ms. Van Gorp and Mr. McConville, along with all the new staff, for taking on their position and keeping this school safe and efficient. The teachers and staff have all helped us grow as our own personalities. On behalf of the class of 2011, I would like to express our gratitude to not only the staff and faculty of Fridley, but the parents for all they have done for us. While without them, our success would not be possible. And as I conclude this speech, I will not leave you with a goodbye, because goodbye could mean forever. Instead, I will say in a minute, as it means I'll hopefully see everybody very soon. Congrats, class of 2011. Thank you.
Thanks, Julian. Would the band and choir members please make their way to the performance areas?
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me.
You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind of the sea, like a sea dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better?
But because I knew you,
Because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
and just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for.
But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet moved like a shadow as it passes the sun, wind off the sea, like a sea that meets like a sea dropped by a halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better.
And because I knew you,
Because I knew you. Because I knew you. I have been changed. For
remarkable. I would like to thank Mr. Messer and Mr. Grimsby for their leadership and commitment to excellence for our Fridley High School music programs. I would also like to recognize that this is Mr. Grimsby's last direction for our band and wish him luck in his next venture. Thanks for touching all of our lives the past 4 years at Fridley High School. Our staff speaker for this evening, voted by the class of 2011, is Mr. Dan Terabesa. Please join me in welcoming Dan.
First off, I'd like to thank the graduating class for asking me to speak today. It is an honor. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dan Terabesa, and I've been an English teacher here in Fridley for the last 15 years. I've been a teacher here at the high school for the last 1 year. The previous 14 years I spent working at the middle school, mostly teaching 8th grade. I came over here this year, and I ended up teaching both freshmen and the graduating class of seniors. This gives me, I think, an interesting perspective to share with you today. For over a decade, when kids left my classroom to head to the big kid school across the street, they would end up remaining forever frozen in my mind as a middle school student. Sure, sometimes they'd come and visit me, or I would see them at various school functions and so forth, but for the most part, the high school world and the middle school world would rarely coincide, and I would experience a tremendous shock when I would see a former student behind the wheel of a car, for instance, or hear of one of them getting married, or in a couple of interesting cases, seeing them get jobs teaching at the middle school. That can't be right, I would think. They're only 13. But this year, I was reunited with many of the students that I had had in my 8th grade classroom 4 years ago. My goodness, how they had changed. Some were obvious differences. For instance, some of the boys were taller than me now. Some of them had more facial hair. But other important differences were far more subtle in nature. These young men and women, who once thought booger jokes were the height of all humor, were now thoughtful and mature. Mature, that's not a word that collides with middle school very often. I was out of my comfort zone here this year. Hyper-adolescence, immaturity, and infantile behavior were the norm where I used to work. And the students acted that way too. Working in the middle school, I rarely got a chance to see the transition from hyper-adolescence to conscientious responsibility. But here in the high school this year, I saw daily evidence of this class's growing maturity. They care for one another in ways that as middle school students, they seemed almost genetically incapable of. These students are now also more diligent workers. Imagine my surprise when I gave 12th graders an hour to work, and they would spend the hour actually working without my constant redirection. Compared to when they were 8th graders, or even this year's freshmen, apples and oranges. These seniors are more quiet and reflective than they once were, more motivated and dependable, more open and responsible. It's almost as if they were adults. And let's face it, they need to be. If middle school is a transition to high school, then high school is a transition to real life. And real life is scary. Real life needs maturity and responsibility. I would argue that it still needs an occasional booger joke, too. But the shape of the world as it stands now requires a new infusion of adult mentality. We need this group of seniors. We need you to add to the world a sense of compassion, cooperation, and compromise. We need you to battle against a growing sense of entitlement and indifference. We need you to bring to the playing field some of the valuable skills we hopefully taught you here. Share, play fair, clean up your own mess, say you're sorry when you hurt someone, be willing to see both sides of an issue before you entrench yourself in your own perspective. Appreciate what others have to offer. These were not just classroom platitudes. They are parameters for survival. This group of seniors, at least the vast majority of them, seemed to grasp that. It was a pleasure to see that these 8th graders do grow up. They do eventually sense that the world exists beyond their narrow perspective. They do end up having a lot to offer and bring to the playing field. I have seen in this group of seniors our future artists and teachers, Marines and police, EMTs and athletes, politicians and nurses. But most of all, what I have seen in this group this year is a capacity for change. Look around you, seniors. Look at the people you have attended class with for the last 4 years, or even 13. You've all come a long way since crayons and safety scissors. Do you remember what your friends and classmates were like in elementary school? Or in my 8th grade English class when we studied Anne Frank and media literacy? Do you remember what you were like? Well, I do, and I am overwhelmed and inspired to see the growth in you all. And the most important thing to remember about today is that it is just a day, one of many, in which you will continue to grow and change, and then go out into the real world where you may find it difficult to make a living, but you will come to realize it's much harder to make a difference. Hopefully, this class, class of 2011, having learned the lessons it has learned and grown into the young adults we see before us, will go out there and make a real difference. Good luck, seniors. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to recognize all Fridley District employees here tonight to please stand and be recognized for all your contributions to our graduates. If you are retiring from Fridley, also please stand and remain standing. Oh, nice job, staff. Thank you. Next, I have a few thank yous. I would like to recognize the work of Sue Culbertson, who is my assistant, who really coordinates the entire event this evening. She manages to keep things going when I really seem to never have a clue. I want to congratulate Rick Moss and his entire custodial crew for all of their setup and preparation for tonight's event. Thank you to our media center and tech crew staff for their video production for tonight, and to the entire Fridley High School faculty and staff. Your dedication to the lives of these students over the past 4 years to instill pride and high expectations, I want to thank you for your tireless efforts. And to the families of these graduates, I want to thank you for never giving up and believing that today would come. We are all in this together. At this point, I would like to recognize our many honor students. The first group of students are being recognized for their choice to complete the full International Baccalaureate Diploma program and are recognized as full diploma candidates. These students have completed 6 college-level courses and examinations over the course of 2 years. Would these students please stand? Congratulations to each of you. Next, I would like to recognize our IB scholars. These students have completed 4 or more International Baccalaureate Diploma Program courses with external exams. Would you please stand? Congratulations. And now, would all students with a GPA of 3.0 to 3.49 cumulatively, graduating with honors, please stand to be recognized? Next, would students with a 3.5 to a 3.749 cumulative GPA graduating with high honors Please stand to be recognized. And finally, would all the students graduating with highest honors please stand to be recognized? These students have a 3.75. Students have a 3.75 to a 4.0 and beyond GPA, have taken a minimum of 9 trimester credits in at least 3 IB diploma courses with external exams. Congratulations. And congratulations, class of 2011. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution, and the ability to see obstacles as opportunities. Class of 2011, you have had many obstacles that have turned into opportunities these past 4 years. You began high school on a 5-period day schedule and ended on a 6-period day. You were the first class to see the IB MYP begin and the first to have IB diploma candidates graduate. We will always have a bond, class of 2011. You began your high school career the same year I took a fork in the road, only to have us back together again here now. In the past 4 years, there have been many things to look back on. During your freshman year, it was the 50th anniversary of Fridley's graduation class, and Mr. Grimsby was in his first year directing the high school band with you. Boys soccer made its debut state appearance. Mitch Oswald and Leah Kruk were the freshman royalty for homecoming. You were making a start. Smart boards, projectors, and laptops were used all around school sophomore year. For homecoming, you wore your blue class t-shirts. Cinderella was the magical fall production. You had to be there was the theme that year. Junior year brought back marching band after a 15-year absence. You were the Courage Retreat mentors. Can you say football conference champs? And what would senior year bring? We started the year with about 15 new teachers, a new principal, and a new assistant principal. There were a few bumps in the road, but the class of 2011 continues to push through. This year, the theme for the yearbook is Express, and no one does a better job of expressing themselves than the class of 2011. We had donkey basketball, Sadie's in the dark, Casey and the boys take it to the teachers in co-ed volleyball, dance team heads to its first state tournament, and what about that boy-girl dance at the Pep Fest? And now it's come down to this. So as you ready yourself to throw caution to the wind and take that road less traveled, I want you to know there are times when you're going to do well and times when you're going to fail. But neither the doing well nor the failure is the measure of success. The measure of success is what you think about what you've done. One of my favorite animals is the turtle. The reason is that in order for a turtle to move, it has to stick its neck out. There are going to be times in your life when you're going to have to stick your neck out. There will be challenges, and instead of hiding in a shell, you have to go out and meet them. Let me put it another way. The way to be happy is to like yourself, and the way to like yourself is to do only the things that make you proud. If there were ever a time to dare, to make a difference, to embark on something worth doing, it is now. Not for any grand cause necessarily, but for something that tugs at your heart, something that is worth your aspiration, something that is your dream. You owe it to yourself to make your days count, have fun, dig deep, stretch, dream big, know, though, that things worth doing seldom come easy. There will be times when you want to turn around, pack it up, and call it quit. Those times tell you that you're pushing yourself, and that you're not afraid to learn by trying. Persist, because with an idea, determination, and the right tools, you can do great things. Let your instincts, your intellect, and let your heart guide you. Trust. Believe in the incredible power of the human mind, of doing something that makes a difference, of working hard, of laughing and hoping, of lasting friends, of all the things that will cross your path. Next year, the start of something new brings the hope of something great. Anything is possible. There is only one you, and you will pass this way but once. So do it right. Be proud, class of 2011. Stick out your necks and go great in the world. Congratulations. At this time, I would like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Peggy Flathman. Her leadership continues to put Fridley Schools in the forefront as a 21st century learning institution. She leads with vision and focus in serving our community. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Peggy Flathman.
Good evening. It is my pleasure to receive the members of the class of 2011 senior class as candidates eligible for the Fridley High School diploma. You have worked hard, you have accomplished much, and you've earned accolades in many arenas throughout your years in school. You were pioneers of the International Baccalaureate program entering 6th grade, and now as seniors participating in the diploma program. This time of year is the end of the year celebrations for many kinds of things in the school district. And last week was the graduation of our preschool. They were introduced as the class of 2024. For me, and from that reaction, for most of the adults here tonight, that date is mind-boggling. But for those parents and grandparents of the class of 2024, they will be just as astonished in 13 years as your parents and grandparents are tonight. Just thinking how fast these 13 years have gone by. Throughout your education so far, you have had many experiences and you have taken advantage of opportunities both within the school and outside of school. And hopefully you've learned a little bit about yourself. And what Sir Ken Robinson talks about is finding your element. And that element he paraphrases as finding the passion that changes everything. He talks about the element with 4 components. The first is finding your aptitude. That is what you're really good at, or something that comes naturally to you. That next component is passion. When combined with what you do well, it's what you love to do. Next is attitude. And Sir Ken says that this is often defined in a way a person thinks about luck. You've heard people when they talk about their work and they say they are lucky to do what they do. When you hear that, it's more about a person creating their luck with perseverance, optimism, and ambition. Lastly, the component of the element is the opportunity. Again, like luck, opportunities just don't fall out of the sky. But we need to create opportunities and take advantage of situations. My wish for each and every one of you is to know your abilities and passion, that you will consider yourself lucky for whatever work you do in this world, and you will take advantages of all the opportunities set before you. And I hope you find your element. And now, Chairperson Lindblad and the Fridley School Board members, it is my privilege to announce that the members of the class of 2011 have fulfilled the requirements set forth by the State Board of Education and the Fridley School Board. In recognition of this achievement, they are entitled to receive the Fridley High School diploma. Congratulations, class of 2011.
We seek the cooperation of all guests by withholding applause, if possible, until all entire class has been presented. We just want to ensure that all names are heard as they cross the stage. Chairperson Marsha Lindblad, at this time, the class of 2011 will be called to the platform to receive their diplomas. Row 1, you may begin making your way to the stage. And the rest of you,
Ibrahim Abdul-Jabbar. Danielle Ock. Bryce Allen. Dana Allen. Tianche Allen. Ahmed Al-Shamari. Dylan Anderson. Carl Ballman. Elizabeth Baker. Taylor Barker. Tasha Barnes-McCoy. Devin Beach. Karen Beltran-Lopez. Charles Benson. Katie Bergeron. Kelly Bergeron. Kyla Bernardi. Jennifer Bielick. Alexis Blake. Ricarda Bloom. Tiara Bobo. Andrea Boyd Precker. Jeff Burtek. Eric Carlson. Nicholas Carlson. Jana Carson. Patrick Chan. Nu Chang. Gwendolyn Chia. Mariah Cheney Swensrud. Detta Cooper. Caleb Cowenhoven. Shamika Kramer. Jonathan Cummings. Christian Damas. Daniel Dayton. Brenda De La Riva Carpio. Marcel Dennis. Mac DeShane. Sean Doherty. Kaylee Dold. Tony Dominguez. Catherine Early. Corey Engelbrecht. Patrick Faber. Brianna Felton. Abigail Field. Lucas Fleischecker. Ryan Forsland. Darius Fowler. Michelle Freikels. Jace Fugel. Jelani Gahiji. Justice Gamble. Alex Gardner. Ashley Gassett. Damon George. David Gilbertson. Brandon Gervais. Lucas Golan. Aaron Graves. Megan Graves. Julian Greenup. Ivan Guernsey.
Alex Hagman. Zachary Hamburg. Jasmine Harding. Walid Hassan. Travis Hogstead. Vanessa Harans. Josh Hearn. Jesse Hoekstra. Jared Hoagland. Morgan Holtzleider. Ben Hopwood. Selena Hutchins. Sadiq Hussein. Abdul Rahman Ismail. Layla Ivy. Michelle Jacob. Raisha Jones. Corey Judd. Phyllis Canary. Gerald Kelly. Ashley Kimlinger. Sakia Klein.
You have to back away from the mic.
Ben Knowles. Haley Kohler. Paul Kramus. Billy Kren. Leah Crook. Chelsea Leyland. Mong Lee. Priscilla Lee. Carla Lehrkamp. Jeffrey Leonard. Mr. Brent Lindblad. Mr. Court Lindblad. Lisbeth Lopez. Dachia Lore. Melody Lore. Nathan Lore. Vang Lore. Nancy Madi. Janessa Meyer. Kamisha Malone. Sean Marpy. Marvin Mayweather. Naja Macomb Delancey. Tyler McCracken. Brandon McGee. Jordan McNerlin. Christopher McGears. Princess Corinne Miles. Rebecca Milks. Trevor Morin. Alexander Muller. Natalie Munoz. Sean Murphy. Caitlin Myrie. Claudio Naif. Paulo Nelson. Brannon Neumeister. Jordan Nacton. Jacob Norgard.
Chinyere Okwalehi. Enyanaya Okwalehi. Sierra O'Neill. Mitchell Ostwald. Caleb Owusu. Naimuch Paul. Miguel Palma Gallardo. Derek Paul. Jacob Paul. Anders Pedersen. Joshua Peterson. Marcus Pisano. Sarah Poy. Matthew Prater. Jessica Radin. Josh Radke Lindig. Kelsey Rasmussen. Elena Reinisch. Heather Resch. Dexter Rimson. Janie Ringhofer. Marvin Robinson. Jesse Root. Joseph Ryman Jr. Kyle Sampson. Allison Sandberg. Mahalet Syed. Khalil Scope. Allison Schwartz. Silvada Sekic. Derek Shaheen. Leanne Shipka. Brandy Seegers. Ryan Singh. Amber Smith. Kende Shodunke. Taiwo Shodunke. Kirsten Soy. Brandon Sonpudi. Alexander Stanishevsky. Graham Stevens. Letitia Stewart. Eric Stoley. Ian Streitz. Aaron Swee. Cassandra Thielen. Nicholas Thorpe. Min Tran. Sarah Truschel. Grace Truckenbrod. Jesus Velasco Rodriguez. Cassandra Wagner. Freshta Wahidi. Anthony Walerius. Sarah Walther. Angelique Wangley. Austin Warner. Amber Washington. Dylan Weber. Greg Weber. Riley West. Brittany White. Cicely White. Kertrice Wilder. Aisha Wiley. Heidi Wolfley. Sharif Woods. Kenneth Young. And Kelly Zemke.
Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the class of 2011. Congratulations.
Jessica's there. See her? She's standing there.